Welcome back to Driving Up Stocks. This is our Robinhood portfolio in challenge. Robinhood portfolio challenge. Sorry, it's Monday. This will be update number 26 for the Robinhood portfolio. Getting right into it, we did end the week at $190.78. So we were up just shy of 4% for the week. We had made a nice rebound early after a couple of bad weeks with the big virus outbreak that was going on. The impeachment kind of had, people fearful, but once we started to get through some of that stuff a little bit, and some of the news started to die down on that. Well, not news hasn't really died down. I mean, it's still strong, but when some of that fear got out of the way, the markets, especially for the U.S. based stocks, did start to go back up. So we reaped some of that benefit last week here by being up. I'm going to say $190 is our new resistance point. I think our last resistance point was $160, $170 range, where every time we'd get up to that next $10 increment, something always happened, whether one of our stocks tanked or we got into a bad trade or something happened every time, where there was a little bit of a down week in the markets, and we were just stuck at that number. So now 190 seems to be that new marker. I mean, we were all the way up with our last $10 deposit that we put in last couple weeks ago, near the end of January. We were up briefly over $200, and then that was about the time all this coronavirus stuff started to kick in, and it went downhill for a couple weeks, but we are rebounding now. So back up again, $191.78. So that's where we ended the week at. Still hanging on to Naked Brand Group. We did get rid of our other kind of bad omen, bad luck stocks that we were hanging on to, but the Naked Brand Group has kind of been right there in that mid 60-cent range, way off from where we bought in, but hanging on to that one to kind of see where that goes. I do have a limit sell, so I don't have to watch it too much. We did get over the weekend up as high as $193. Again, that was due to we're kind of experimenting a little bit, dabbling, if you are so inclined to say, into the cryptocurrencies, the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. I think I had Bitcoin Cash, some Dogecoin. I've been hanging on to about 4 of those. For a little bit, I was down to 3. I did make a couple sales over the weekend. I had bought in at a low point on Friday. Everything kind of peaked out Saturday night, started to dip a little bit, so I was I was up like 60 cents or so. So I sold out of a couple of them, and then bought when they dipped again, started to go back up. They have started to drop off. I made a prediction on that end of things on Friday, because they were starting to, throughout the trading day, the cryptos were kind of stagnant or going down, dipping a little bit. I figured that once the markets closed on Friday, and that was the only thing out there to do, I don't know about Forex. Does Forex trade over the weekends? That's something I have no interest in, so don't know anything about Forex, but don't know if that's something that's like a round-the-clock deal or not, like the cryptos. But crypto, you can trade it all weekend long or whatever, other than they do have a couple maintenance periods. So I did get up as high as like the 193. I might have even touched 194 at one point, but I was predicting that once those markets closed Friday that the cryptos would go up, and they really did go up quite substantially. Almost all of them that are offered by Robinhood went up significantly over the weekend. So we did make a little bit of money there. We are down on those today. I think I am in 4 cryptos, as I mentioned. I want to say Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Classic. One of those is the only one only one that's up. It's not the only one I'm up on. I do own, a small piece of Bitcoin itself. and I think Ethereum, or no, Litecoin. I believe it's Litecoin. I'm up in my position, but it's down quite a bit for the day. But I bought into Bitcoin and the Litecoin at such a dip that even though it's way down since Saturday night, I'm still between the two about 65 cents ahead right now. So for the small piece of pie, I mean, like I said, I said this on my last update for the midweek. Between all four, I've got about $9 in there invested. So not a huge chunk of change, but for our portfolio size, that is a pretty substantial size. But doing well there. That cryptocurrency experiment's going well. We'll just hang on to those. I anticipate they're going to go back up. We did start off, we did dip this morning. I think we did fall at one point below $190, and we're still around that 191 range right now. We did have a few stocks that spiked after market open, but most of them have gone down. Most of my stocks, I haven't got to look at any news yet today, so I don't know if there's anything going on specifically that's affecting the market as a whole. But most of my stocks, except I think two, are down today a little bit, including my watch list. Most of my watch list is down, and that's just stuff that I keep on there. So if I get money, I can throw it into something for a long term, or if there's something that's got some good movement to it, I can go into as a swing trade. I keep about 25 to 30 stocks on my watch list for those purposes. Most of those are down, so I think there's actually probably something going on market wide where we're down. The big elephant in the room I'll briefly touch on. I do not own any Tesla. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of those that bought in at like $3 and now it's up to 800, and then I know it dipped back down today. That is some news that I did hear today, is Tesla broke 800 today, but then dropped down pretty dramatically, I guess, again. But that one's been way up, kind of unexplainable. They were not profitable. They predict themselves to be profitable. But just kind of a weird one that bucks the trend, that just kind of does what it wants, goes up and down as it pleases, but they are looking at record highs. Uber, the reason I'm actually down overall, it's not like the little bit of movement down on my other stocks that have my portfolio in the red today. And when I say in the red, I'm only down like 35 cents from yesterday. But one of the driving factors is I talk about this so much, is I have one share of Uber, which I got from a referral, and that takes up, I believe it is 22% of my portfolio. You don't want any single position to take up more than about 5% of your portfolio. The reason being, if it moves a lot, it really affects your portfolio. Great example, I was up when the market opened today because Uber went up over $41. Now it's down like right around 40. It might even be below 40 for all I know by now. I haven't looked in a little bit. But that almost, that $1.50 swing or so just drives, being such a small portfolio, it just really drives it down. Really has a big impact. So that's where that averaging comes into play. And we got to work towards, try to balance that out so that one position doesn't have more than 5-ish%. I mean, if it's a little more than that, it's not a big deal. But if each of your positions are around that 5% range, if one of them has a bad day, it doesn't just completely decimate your entire portfolio. So that is really all I had. I appreciate all the support. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm hoping to have more good news for everyone when we do our midweek update. Thanks for tuning in again. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to Driving Up Stocks. We will see you for the midweek update. I do have one more thing. I apologize very quickly. One more thing. Brand new yesterday afternoon, I am now a member of the Twitter universe. Finally broke down, got with the times, decided that since I'm going to be in my 40s this year, I'm going to break that 40 mark, that I would finally join all the youngsters there in the Twitterverse. So you can follow me at Chef Icon, same thing as my channel name. And that's it. Hope to see you all there. Thanks again. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next time. Thank you all.